All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We've got two of my Asian investors on the podcast with us, Jamie and Andrea, who happen to be sisters. And I asked them to come along and just kind of tell their story and their journey about building multiple streams of income, both in the financial services space and the real estate space. And so, Jamie, let's start with you. Just give us a little bit about your background.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And Greg, thanks for the opportunity for allowing us to be on this platform, just talk to everybody about what we do. For me personally, I was born and raised in Baltimore. I'm a mother of three. I'm a wife, so I'm very, very busy. And I just in general started to watch my sister. As you mentioned, Andrea Reynolds is my sister, and she's been in real estate for quite a while. And we've had conversations about it, and she kept saying, Jamie, get your license, get your license, get your license. And one day it resonated with me, in general, just wanting to change my financial outlook in general. And I decided to get my license, and that's where it basically started at.
Okay. And Andrea, what tell us a little bit about your background. You're from Baltimore, and kind of sounds kind of similar, but tell us.
Yeah, mother of three,
I know.
but divorced. I also grew up in Baltimore. I worked in the telecommunications industry for over 21 years. Probably about 17, 18 years ago, I got into real estate because of my love for houses. And while I was purchasing and building my home, I really realized that I had a passion for real estate. So once I did get my license, I worked full time, and then I would do real estate part time. The market changed, and unfortunately, I wasn't with Bennett at the time, so I didn't know how to pivot. And I was going through a divorce, so I did have to put real estate on the background. On the back burner. But in the last 3 years, I've been doing real estate full time. I thoroughly enjoy it. I never lost my passion for it. Even over the years, I still did investing. Still, performed as a landlord, and I love spreading the word about the real estate market.
And so Andrea, tell us about the decision to leave corporate America to do the real estate sales, the financial services, and the real estate investing full time. How tough of a decision was that?
It was tough. I still miss the weekly paycheck, but I wouldn't trade the financial, freedom or the time for it, for being in, working for someone else again. I think it's something that you definitely have to plan out. You have to have a plan A, B, C, D, in order to take that leap. But it's definitely possible. Just like you work 8 hours for someone else, you have to work 8 hours for yourself. So you definitely have to be disciplined, and definitely map out your bills, how much money you need to make, how much savings you should have, because you don't want to go into being an entrepreneur and be stressed out at the same time. It's definitely important to already maybe have some investments lined up, a 401k, mutual fund, something that you can pull from if you get into a hard spot. I've been very blessed not to have to go down that path. I've been able to, create a living for myself, and I'm looking to do much, 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 much more.
Mm-hmm. And me and Andrea have these conversations all the time. And right when she decided that she was going to leave her job, she called me, and we talked about it like 1,001 times, trying to play out every possible scenario. So I'm glad and grateful for her decision, and that she's doing well.
Oh,
and so Jamie, when is it going to be your turn to call Andrea? Talk about
She's coming.
I'm coming. I do tend to follow Andrea. But she's my sister, and she always has my best interest. So my goal is to at one day leave my 9 to 5. I've been working in workers' compensation for over 20 years. And I do have a goal of being able to do real estate full time. I'm putting in some things in place now currently to put myself in a better position to be able to do that. And I enjoy real estate. I love doing it. I didn't know a whole lot about it at first when I got involved, but once I got involved, I have a passion for it. I feel like there's a niche for it for me, for my personality and how I'm just willing to help people in general. So I find myself better suited for that aspect of the business. So I'm putting some things in place to be able to position myself to be able to do that for myself real soon, I hope.
And Jamie, how long you're also a real estate investor? How long have you been investing?
Well, I started the investing side maybe about a year ago, about a year and a half ago.
And tell us a little bit about that. I know that you're wholesaling. Are you doing anything else?
Well, I am wholesaling properties. I did recently acquire a property that I'm working on a plan as to how I'm going to proceed on that front. And I'm still continuing to look for properties to possibly wholesale and actually buy and hold. My goal is to probably buy and hold a property at least once a year, for right now. But I want to get into fixing and flipping as well. So I'm just waiting for the right property, to make sure that I'm making the right decision, especially when I'm investing my money for the first time on a fix and flip. So I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry to do it because I want to make sure it's right. So that's where I am right now.
And so, Andrea, tell us about the financial services piece. Why did you decide to get your insurance license?
Well, I got my insurance license. Actually, I was pushed into it by a family friend. She kept telling me what a personality I had that would fit with doing life insurance and the sales background that I had. She really wanted to. She thought that I would be great at it. So when I was when she approached me before, I was always too busy, or I thought I was too busy, and she and finally I took a moment. I just took like a week off from doing everything, and I buckled down. I took the class. I got my insurance license like 2 days after I got out of the class. I just rushed everything because I knew if I was going to do it, I had to just get it over with quick. And I still put it on the back burner. Didn't use my license until the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, I was in a position where I was doing real estate full time, and I'm an older. I'm not a millennial. I'm a little older. So the virus itself had a really big fear. I had a really big fear of it. So I was trying to learn. A lot of things that I did were virtual already, but a lot of the day-to-day thing, I was a little hesitant about. So in that moment, I was like, okay, well, while everybody's on lockdown, let me just, focus on this insurance piece a little bit more. And it was just such an easy transition for me to be able to add it into my business because everything that I was doing was virtual. So all of my meetings were virtual. All of my conversations were, by phone. I wasn't like sitting in anyone's home. They weren't talking to me. And the pandemic brought to light a lot of the disparities in our community. It brought to light a lot of the injustices and the economic differences between races that people just weren't paying attention to before. It also brought about fear of death and people, actually thinking about their mortality and wanting to do, put things in place to make sure that they weren't leaving their families in a bad situation. So with all these things being brought to light, it was easy for me to monopolize off of that, even though it's something that's dear to my heart. I care about, my community, but it was also an opportunity for me to say, hey, I've got these things in place that I can present to you that you can take advantage of. And again, I pulled Jamie into it.
She did.
We
I don't know what's next.
rolling.
Oh, I do know what's next.
If I'm rocking, she's rolling. So
She did.
So, so it helped because for me personally, I just didn't understand a lot of financial information. I had a 401k with my job that I had been working at for 21 years and still really didn't understand how to invest in it or how to move my money around or the fact of how it would benefit me. So there's a lot of pieces to life insurance that it opens your eyes up to, like you said, the financial services part of it, and just that education alone, or just being able to have those type of conversations with people. It really opens the doors up to our community, especially because we don't have these type of conversations a lot.
Right, and that's what I like about it as well. We're educating ourselves on these different types of financial services, but then once we educate ourselves, now we can go in our community and educate others. And so, so Jamie, you followed Andrea into, you got your life insurance license. And so the industry as a whole, what do you like about it?
So for me, like Andrea mentioned, she called me and said, Jamie, I want you to get on this call, listen to this. And I'm always open to listening to anything, but I do have to feel myself physically connected to it. So after sitting through the call, and I realized, I'm like, well, I'm already in real estate. I'm in front of people on a regular basis. It only makes sense to be able to offer an additional service to my clients as well, something that would benefit them long term. And because from learning through a little bit, I was like, there is a lot more to life insurance than what people really know. It's like this secret society that has been around for a very, very long time that we're not educated on. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'll get on board and I'll take my test and I'll get my license. And that's what I did. And since then, I've been just, working at making sure, communicating people. I've had conversations with people, and it's an eye opener for people in our communities in general, because they think of life insurance as, a death benefit. That's simply it. And it's like, well, I don't really need that because I'm paying X amount of dollars every month. I can just pay for my own burial expenses. It's like bigger than that. And you got to be willing to open up your eyes to see and your ears to listen, to really hear how it can benefit your family for generations and years to come.
And it's not really that expensive. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of us don't buy or get insurance, is because they think it's expensive, but it's really not.
And to add on to what Jamie said, it's not just a death benefit, it's an income protection. Because when you pass away, you're making, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Your family's going to feel the impact from not having that income coming in.
Yeah, I see so many families over the last 20 some years having to sell their houses because the main breadwinner just passed away. And so we use the financial services or life insurance as a way to protect the wealth, so that if they pass away, now there's a policy in place to replace that income. And I always like to say that in the Jewish community, when one passes away, 2 millionaires are created. They know the importance of protecting wealth and getting, life insurance, so that when one passes away, so that's just a way to really build wealth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I don't think people really understand the impact of it in general, of not being prepared, because in a situation where a person is used to living a certain way, because you have all this extra income, that's a big drastic hit when that's gone, and your whole process of how you live changes. That affects people mentally. And you just can't overcome that. Not being financially stable to be able to deal with that in general, dealing with the loss of someone, dealing with the loss of a home, a loss of a vehicle, not being able to put your kids through school. All those things affect you overall, and it affects our communities in general. And it's a cycle that just needs to be broken. And it takes people like us to get out here, get licensed, and educate our communities to let them know that there is a way to change this cycle, and this is what we need to do. But people just got to be willing to listen and make the steps to make it happen.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. So how are you guys, in terms of time management, mixing both for you, Jamie, your full-time job, selling real estate, because you sell real estate for Bennett Realty Solutions, the insurance, investing, like how are you guys, Andrea, you pretty much the same way. How do you manage your time and have 3 children? Like, how are you guys doing that?
Well, for me, my 3 kids are of an age where they can take care of themselves. 2 of them live alone, have their own places. My son is still at home, but he's self-sufficient. He works, so I don't really have that as a, doesn't negatively impact what I do. As far as my job, I do have a 9-to-5, so my real estate is kind of part-time. I do that on the weekends. I do that in the evenings with showing. So I circle my schedule around there. But I have the benefit of having my husband who's also into real estate. So he can do a lot of the wholesaling, a lot of, driving around, posting, looking for properties, that kind of stuff. So he helps a great deal during the day to be able to keep us moving in the business.
And how about you, Andrea? How are you managing? Andrea took an office here in our office, I think, to help manage her time because the son goes to school across.
I did.
So how are you managing everything?
Well, it's definitely a lot of time blocking for me, and actually trying to plan things the day before. I try to map things out to do in the morning, whatever business I'm actually working on, then try to take time to follow up on different sections of my business. I try to take 1 day a week to work on my investment properties, and just manage things as they come. I've also I probably, I'm sorry to change the thought. I probably could use an assistant at this point.
Absolutely.
but I'm definitely just trying to map out or pay attention closer to what I do and what my daily tasks are, so that I can pass that on to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And speaking of assistant, I do have a virtual assistant also that works like 5 hours a day, Monday through like Saturday, to help us with that part of the business as well.
Making what are they doing? Making phone calls for you?
Making cold calls.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And like SMS campaigns, things like that.
Okay. And what's the importance, Andrea? You first. The importance of multiple streams of income, and how does that help your life?
Well, especially with being an entrepreneur, I think there's always waves. So there's always going to be highs and lows. It's going to, be great one day, and it might be a little slow one day. And you have to manage your income to, make sure that you're doing okay financially during those waves. But with having several different incomes, you can kind of, where one is lacking, one might be picking up. So it balances everything out. I think it gives me more peace of mind having several incomes coming in, because I'm not, like I said, I miss the weekly paychecks, but I'm not lacking for anything.
Okay, ma'am. You're not lacking for anything.
Thank you, God.
How about you, Jamie? You've got a number of different streams of income to supplement your full-time money, that must be a good feeling. You have a paycheck coming in, and then to have a settlement, because you've had some settlements. I've signed some checks, and all the other streams. It must be a good feeling.
It is a good feeling. Definitely having a 9 to 5, it puts that security for right now. But I've come to the point where I've realized now that the money that I'm making, I need to be taking that money and investing it and preparing myself for something different. And through this process of getting on board with real estate and getting on board with financial services has opened my eyes to that. Before it was like, okay, I'm making pretty decent money. I can buy whatever I want to buy, and I can have money in the bank account, but I can pay my bills, that kind of stuff. But it has opened my eyes to a bigger picture in general. So for me, having the multiple streams of income has really, really helped. It has given us some freedom. It's given my husband the freedom needed to help me, because I really did need some help. I was struggling in the very beginning of trying to finesse having a 9 to 5 job and still having to try to build my business at the same time. So it has really, really helped us to be able to focus more and focus on our goals. Now I have tons of ideas and I got multiple streams coming. But I have to, focus on getting things in order one at a time.
Yeah, so that's the thing about multiple streams of income. You choose another stream, and then you master it. Mm-hmm. You make money from it. You hire a team, either a person, an assistant, or a virtual assistant, and they help you with that business. Then you start another stream and then master that as well. Mm-hmm. And you got these streams coming in. And so when you look at wealthy people, and I follow a lot of wealthy people, just see what they're doing. And they've got multiple streams of income, and they talk about all the different streams of income, all the buckets, different buckets of money. And like Andrea said, if one is lacking, the good thing about multiple streams of income is you've got others coming. And for me, the challenge has been getting all the different streams or buckets of money all kind of flowing in all wonderfully at the same
time, right? Isn't that the goal?
And sometimes that happens. And when that happens, it's like, oh, happy day. I feel like singing a song, oh, happy day. And so that's the daily goal, because you guys know I got all kinds of stuff going on. As
we want to be like you, Greg.
Yeah, when I grow up. That's why I'm watching you. Trust me, I'm watching you.
I'm telling Jamie, Andrea, as we're getting ready to come on to this podcast, I'm watching my other screen because I'm online bidding on a property on auction.com. So, and looks like I'm the highest bidder, but I didn't meet the reserve. So I don't know what'll happen, but I can't wait to see. But that's what we do. It's just multiple tasks, multiple streams, and the goal is to get them all flowing correctly the way we want them all at the same time. And so that's like my daily goal. Like and I write down the tasks. What do I need to do on this business, and this business, and this business to get things flowing? And what I always think about too, honestly, is am I doing too much? Am I not paying enough attention to one stream? And so I think a lot about that all the time, almost every day. Am I doing too much? Or what do I need to do? Or who do I need to bring in to help me with this particular stream of income so that they can all keep flowing, reaching all my goals for each business? And I think that's what we need to do. I think one other thing that we need to teach, and it's good that you guys are doing it through financial services and real estate, is entrepreneurship. And with entrepreneurship, I mean, that's how you build wealth. With entrepreneurship, you're selling something. And when you're selling something, the sky's the limit. Most 9 to 5s, you're not selling anything. And so you know what you're going to, you know what your salary is going to be at the end of the year. But when you're selling, you guys are selling real estate, you guys are selling financial services, you're investing in real estate, you have no idea what you're going to make. And it all just depends on how hard you work for that year. And so with the 9 to 5, you're overworked and underpaid. It's the opposite when you're an entrepreneur. And so one thing that I want everybody to get out of this podcast is that you can do it. Like, you can be an entrepreneur. You can have different streams of income, even if you're doing it part-time from home. You can do it, but you want to choose something where the sky's the limit. And you've got to be able to sell something, financial services, real estate, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be these things, but these are needs, especially for our community. But you have to be able to sell, and to build wealth, you've got to be an entrepreneur. And so a couple questions left. We'll start with you, Andrea. 3 years from now, Miss Andrea.
Uh-oh.
Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself 3 years from now?
Well, 3 years from now, I definitely want to have a better system for fixing and flipping. I would like to do at least 4 a year. That's my goal. Probably, I'm thinking I would definitely have a team by then. I wasn't sure about it, but now I think I do want to have a team. So that probably would start next year. My goal is to become a millionaire by 2022. That's my goal. I've been mapping different ways of how to do that. I'm definitely going to be tapping into you for some mentorship. But that's definitely the goal. So I guess my goals might be a little sooner than 3 years, but definitely in 3 years, I plan to have a better system for my fix and flips.
Okay. All right. And Jamie, where do you see yourself 3 years from now?
In 3 years from now, I definitely see myself away from my 9 to 5. I see myself, fixing and flipping. Like I said, my goal is somewhere around maybe 2. I'm saying 2 a year right now. And just positioning myself to be completely in real estate, full-time, full-fledged. And I've been building that over the last year and a half anyway. Just building up, making sure people know what it is that I do on a regular basis. And creating foot soldiers where people are out there, dropping my name when they hear real estate. So my goal in 3 years is really to be away from my 9 to 5. That's really a closer goal than 3 years. But once I can have my time back, that 8-10 hours during the day, I know that that's going to take me beyond measures once I get that time back.
And that's what's important, is the time, and using your time wisely. And that's what the wealthy do. They use their time wisely. So that's definitely a good point. Building Black wealth. That's part of the theme of my kind of rebranded the podcast. We want to help people in our community build wealth. So when I say building Black wealth, Andrea, what resonates with you? What does that mean for you?
For me, the first thing that comes to mind is catching up. We've been out of the loop for a long time. We've been shut out, but the information has always been there. It's always been inside of a book. It's always, it's always been within reach. It's always been within certain networks. It's just us taking the time and trusting it. I think there's a lot of issues of trust in our community where we are, because we have been preyed on and taken advantage of for so long, that we need to see more of our faces explaining things to us.
Okay. I mean, I think you have a good point there. It's kind of what we've been talking about. It's just educating our community, but not just educating our community. Now you've got to take action.
Absolutely.
And so we've got to take action. We can't be afraid to take action. We can't be afraid to be great. And if you aspire for greatness, then you've got to get educated, and there's got to be people like us to educate but then you have to take action and make a change in your community, in your life, in your family's life. We often talk about building generational wealth, but very few people do that. But it only takes one in each family. It just takes one person.
And just to add to that, because when you say Black wealth, what comes to mind is there's so many ways to be wealthy. And what I'm seeing now, and what Jamie will see when she gets out, she's already seeing it, but once she gets that time back that she's asking for, your mind is working and you actually have time to think throughout the day. You see, like, I see opportunities and everything. So it's there. It's all around us. It's just a matter of being able to structure it so that we can get it.
And so, Jamie, building Black wealth. What does that mean for you?
For me, what that means is starting from the ground up, in general, from getting educated, learning what's out there, what's available. Again, for so long, like Andrea said, there's a lot of things that our communities don't know or tend to not. I don't even care to know, but that needs to change. It's time, and I've seen through this pandemic that us as a race has come a tremendous way. I'm seeing so many people starting new businesses, really educating themselves. So I want to touch upon that I think people are starting to see that the pandemic has opened eyes. There's still a lot of work to do. And for me, I'm more focused in my role in this, and being a trustworthy person where people can rely on what I'm telling them, trust what I'm telling them, because I'm not going to educate you or tell you something that I wouldn't do personally myself. Even to my clients, when I'm selling a house, I'll tell them, I won't sell you a house that I wouldn't buy myself. I'm not even going to send you the listing to let you see it if I won't buy it myself, because everything that I do decision wise, I take personal. So building Black wealth starts with us, and it starts with us educating and being able to trust what the person is telling you, and to just take action, and do what's necessary, put those steps in place, and then you will see over time that that you made the right decision. But people have to be willing to take the risk, and a lot of times we have been, pulled upon where taking risks sometimes are not always great. And I see stuff on social media and it's like, well, I'm not going to support this business because of this or because of that. And everybody gets classified into this one cluster that everybody's the same and nobody can be trusted. And that's just not the case. People are out here getting educated and trying to educate our group and our community to do better. And that's my goal, and that's what Black wealth means to me, which is why I support your mission, and why I, came aboard to help.
Good, thank you. And it is my mission, and I think that that we can do it. I mean, I think that we can educate not just here in our area in the DMV, but throughout the country. So part of the mission is to spread the gospel. And just kind of do our part in helping build wealth and build communities and build lives, even save lives, because we lose a lot of lives just because of economics, and it's a struggle. And I know it's a struggle. I've got contractors out today putting up a fence at one of my rental properties, and they got held up by a gunman like this morning, a few hours ago. And it, as tragic as it is, I think the tragedy is that gunmen, and I'm probably looking at it wrong, felt like they had to do that, and it's probably because of their economics. Now, unfortunately for my contractors, I mean, they're fine. They only had a few dollars on them, but we've got to. I think economics also could possibly even change the crime rate, and so we've got to give.
There's no doubt that wouldn't change the crime rate. You are 1,000% correct.
Yeah, and we've got to give alternatives. So it's education, it's taking action, taking what's perceived to be risk. And, for us, it's not risk. We've done it, but it's the perception is that it's risk. And then it's also stepping into industries that, there's not a lot of people that look like us in the industry. Our title company just went through an audit yesterday, our first audit, and it went extremely well. And the auditor said, well, it's good to see, good to see women doing this. But what she really meant to say was, without it's good to see African Americans in this industry, because in the title industry, there's not a lot of African Americans. You can count them on, in the DMV, you can count them on one hand. And so we got to venture out. And if we do that, now we're showing our own community that we can do it. Even you could be white, black, brown. You can do it in different industries. And so that's part of the reason why I wanted to step into the financial services industry, to eventually be in, an IMO, insurance marketing organization, because there's not a lot of them out there. There's not a lot of African-American insurance agencies. There's little to none African-American insurance carriers. And so all of those things.
We need a TPA. I'm saying it on the record. We need a third-party administrator. I'm saying it on the record.
You better not be challenging me, Jamie.
I'm challenging
you. If you know me.
I'm challenging you.
We will make it happen. We will definitely make it happen, especially if it's lucrative. We're gonna make it happen.
That is the most lucrative business you can find.
Yeah, I can see building a big financial services sales force, and then like what A.L. Williams Primerica did was now then they got their own products and their own carrier, or they sold to Travelers, and now the whole sales force was selling Travelers. Now I don't know what they're selling now, but that's what happened. And so when I look at it, and I look at Arthur Williams, who's somebody that I do follow, I say that country bumpkin like him can do it. How come I can't?
You can.
You can.
You absolutely can.
Some of the most, like you said earlier, some of the most wealthy people are in sales, or became wealthy because somebody they knew did the right thing and planned appropriately through financial services, and they were able to calculate off of those funds and become very wealthy.
Yeah, honestly, that's how you become wealthy. And that's part of the reason why I'm into real estate too, is to leverage my assets, leverage my properties to build more wealth.
Right.
And so that's what you do. So I'm buying properties in Baltimore, as you guys know, and so you guys are as well. So Jamie, you've shown me some properties to wholesale. But so the question, are you doing that? We're buying assets, asset accumulation. We're accumulating assets so that we can leverage those assets to buy bigger businesses, other bigger pieces of real estate, things like that. I really want to say, any words of advice as we close out? Any words of advice for the people who are looking now at the live podcast, or will look at this podcast in the future? And any advice you guys want to give?
Well, the advice that I would give is that if anybody that's watching is interested in getting into real estate, definitely reach out to us, reach out to myself personally, or reach out to my sister, Andrea, because we are in the process of building a team in general. So reach out to us if you're interested in financial services, getting licensed, reach out to either one of us. Again, these are lucrative possibilities to create other streams of income. You can do it while working a regular job. So if you're looking for extra sources of income, definitely reach out to us, and we'll be glad to help, train, whatever it takes to get you started.
So Jamie, give out your information. You're on Instagram, right?
I am on Instagram, and let's see what my Instagram is. I believe
It's Jamie Lynch Real Estate.
it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Jamie Lynch Real Estate on Instagram, and I believe that's my Facebook as well.
And my name is Andrea Sells the DMV on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Andrea Sells the DMV. So my advice would be to definitely write down your options as you go into entrepreneurship. Write down your pros and your cons, because you have to make these decisions for yourself and what the timing will be for you. Definitely enlist a support system, that when you decide to make these changes, you need to have people in your corner that are going to be understanding, that might be able to chip in, help, do and just push for your success. You also want to make sure that you're set up financially, have some type of savings. I'm sorry, my phone cut off. You want to have some type of savings behind you, just so that you won't be stressed out. It's very possible to do. And definitely when you think about doing life insurance and real estate in front of, you know, once you're in front of your client, you can talk about many things. And usually when you have someone's attention on their ear, they're already in a position to listen or trust what you have to say. So, definitely have, be honest. You want to give great advice. You want to have good intentions for that person. It's not just about a sale. You want to take the time and do things and say things that will work for them. But you definitely want to take the opportunity to present all of these things, because it's needed. They definitely need to know the information that you have to share. And again, like James said, if anybody's interested in getting into real estate or interested in doing life insurance, we are here to help. And you can contact me on my phone, 301-613-8664.
All right, ladies. And so very good, very good. I really appreciate all your help, support. I appreciate what you guys are doing, because you guys are shining examples of what can be. And we have lots of excuses not to be successful. We can look back and say, well, things have happened in our lives, in our community, 400 years ago, but that doesn't help us pay our bills today. And so we've got to move forward with these different streams of income with a different mindset. And it all begins and ends with your mindset. And so we've got to look forward, and we've got to create passive income, other streams of income. We've got to make money while we sleep. Yeah. And that's how we become wealthy. And it's passive income. And we've got to focus on the multiple streams of income in order for us to get ahead. So speaking of multiple streams of income, we talked a lot about our financial services company. We're having a live, I'll put the link here. We're having a live webinar tomorrow, and either Andrea or Jamie will be there.
I've already registered. I registered.
Okay. So you'll see them again. But go to joinbiglife.com, joinbiglife.com if you're interested in a career in financial services. So we've created these different streams of income that you can be a part of, and we will hold your hand. We will hold your hand and help you through. Our real estate brokerage, if you're interested in that, is you can go to joinbrs.com. That's Bennett Realty Solutions, joinbrs.com. If you'd like a career in real estate, or even if you're interested in investing in real estate, I have a coaching program on the real estate investing side. You can always reach me at on my Instagram, Greg Bennett Invest, Go there, follow me. Let me see, my daughter and I actually tells me to say, follow me, like and something else.
Like, share,
Yeah,
save,
like, share, and something else. But
and save.
and all that stuff. Go there and just follow me. That's the best thing for valuable information. I should have had that written down. My daughter's going to kill me. But anyway, you guys, this has been fun. I appreciate your time. I know, Andrea, you're between appointments, so
Yes, but thank you for having me, Greg. I really appreciate you being so inclusive.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, Jamie. Are you? You're not going to get in trouble for this, are you? Are you on your?
No, not at all.
All right, 3 years, Jamie. Actually, I'm giving you 1 year. 1 year, and you're out of there.
That
you're
sounds
out of there
great.
in 1 year.
1 year,
full-time entrepreneur. 1 year.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Everybody else, you guys have a wonderful day as well. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.